In a world filled with chaos, uncertainty, and challenges, there is one universal language that transcends all barriers: a smile. A smile is not just a reaction, it is a choice, a gift, and a powerful tool that can transform lives. Today, we explore why smiling is the best reaction in every situation and how it can inspire, heal, and connect us all. A smile is a universal language of kindness, confidence, and inner peace. Science has proven that smiling releases endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine, the happiness hormones that reduce stress and improve overall well-being. The smile that changed the world. Nelson Mandela's story of strength and forgiveness. Let me take you back to a time when the world was divided, when a man was locked behind bars for fighting for justice, and yet, despite everything, he chose to smile. This is the story of Nelson Mandela, a man who faced injustice, hatred, and cruelty but never let it break his spirit. His smile wasn't just a facial expression. It was a message of resilience, hope, and the power of forgiveness. And today, I want to share how one man's smile changed the course of history. A smile behind prison bars. Imagine this. You are locked in a tiny, windowless cell, barely big enough to stretch your arms. The walls are cold. The air is thick with silence. Outside, you hear the footsteps of the guards, men who see you not as a human, but as a criminal. Nelson Mandela lived his reality for 27 long years. He was taken from his family. His children grew up without him, and his country continued to suffer under the brutal system of apartheid. But here's the incredible part. He never allowed bitterness to consume him. One day, as a young guard approached his cell, expecting the usual hostility from prisoners, something unusual happened. Mandela looked up, smiled, and greeted him warmly. The guard was confused. Why was this man, who had every reason to hate, smiling at him? Day after day, Mandela continued to treat his captors with kindness and dignity. He asked about their families. He engaged them in conversation. Slowly, something began to shift. The guards who once looked at him with disgust started to respect him. What they didn't realize was that Mandela's smile was his secret weapon. It wasn't just politeness. It was a sign of power, resilience, and unbreakable spirit. White heavy checkmark lesson. No one can control how you feel inside. No matter what you go through, your attitude is your own. And sometimes, the simplest act, like a smile, can be the greatest act of defiance. The day Mandela walked free. Now, fast forward to 11 February 1990. The world held its breath as the gates of Victor Verster prison swung open. A man who had been a prisoner for nearly 3 decades stepped into the sunlight. And what did he do? He smiled. Not a forced smile, not a bitter smile, a genuine, warm, and hopeful smile. He could have walked out angry, calling for revenge. But instead, he spoke of peace, unity, and reconciliation. Let us forget the past and look to the future, hand in hand. The entire world watched in awe. How could a man who had been treated so cruelly forgive so easily? How could he smile at the very people who had stolen his freedom? But Mandela knew something that most people didn't. That hatred is a prison far worse than any jail cell. White heavy checkmark lesson. Carrying anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness is a key that sets you free. A smile that united a nation. In 1994, Mandela became the first black president of South Africa, marking the end of apartheid. Now, imagine this, a country torn apart by racism, fear, and deep wounds that had lasted for generations. People expected revenge. People expected war. But Mandela did something unthinkable. At his inauguration, he invited his former prison guards as his guests of honor. Let that sink in. These were the same men who once held him captive, the same men who had tried to break him. And yet, He greeted them with the same smile he had given them years before behind those cold prison bars. One journalist asked him, "Why would you invite your captors here?" And Mandela simply replied, "If I did not leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I would still be in prison." And that's when the world understood. His smile was not just an expression. It was a weapon against hate, a bridge to unity, and a sign that South Africa was ready to heal. White heavy checkmark lesson: a smile can break walls, melt hearts, and create peace where there was once war. The legacy of Mandela's smile. Today, when you see a picture of Nelson Mandela, you notice something. He is always smiling, not because his life was easy, not because he never suffered, but because he chose to rise above pain and hate. So, the next time life gets tough, small blue diamond when you face betrayal, small blue diamond when people treat you unfairly, small blue diamond when everything seems to be against you. Smile, not because the pain isn't real, but because you refuse to let it define you. Because, just like Mandela, your smile can change the world. Nick Vujicic, the man who chose to smile. Imagine waking up one day, looking down, and realizing you have no arms and no legs. How would you feel? Would you feel helpless? Angry? Would you wonder why fate had been so cruel to you? Now, imagine living your entire life that way. For most people, the thought alone is terrifying. The ability to walk, to hold, to touch, to do simple everyday tasks, all taken away. But what if I told you that a man in this exact situation didn't just survive, he thrived? His name is Nick Vujicic, and his story is a testament to the power of resilience, faith, and the strength of a smile. Born without limbs, but not without a purpose. Nick Vujicic was born in 1982 in Melbourne, Australia, with a rare condition called tetraamelia syndrome, a disorder that left him without arms and legs. When his parents first saw him, they were devastated. They had prayed for a healthy child, and now they were looking at a baby who would never be able to do the things other children could. His mother even refused to hold him at first, overwhelmed with grief and confusion. As Nick grew older, he began to understand that he was different. He couldn't play like the other kids. He couldn't hold a toy. He couldn't walk. And worst of all, he had to depend on others for everything. Can you imagine the frustration, the sadness? At school, he was bullied. He was called names. He felt like he didn't belong. By the age of 8, Nick fell into deep depression. By 10, he had lost all hope. He even tried to take his own life, but something stopped him. It was a simple realization. If he ended his life, he would never know what he was truly capable of. The turning point, a choice that changed everything. One day, Nick asked himself a question. If I can't change my situation, can I change my mindset? And that was the beginning of his transformation. He made a choice that many people never make. Why try pointing backhand index? He chose to stop focusing on what he didn't have and start using what he did have. Why try pointing backhand index? He chose to stop feeling like a victim and start living with purpose. Why try pointing backhand index? He chose to smile. Yes, smile. Not because life was easy, but because he realized that his attitude was his greatest power. Finding strength in the smallest things. Nick started small. Small blue diamond, he practiced gratitude. Instead of mourning his missing limbs, he celebrated what he could do. Small blue diamond, he learned to use his one small foot with 2 toes to write, type, and even swim. Small blue diamond, he refused to let fear control him and started setting goals for himself. One goal led to another, and soon he discovered a calling. Electric light bulb, he wanted to inspire people who felt hopeless, just like he once did. From depression to global inspiration. Nick started giving motivational talks at just 19 years old. At first, he spoke at small schools and churches. Then, His message spread like wildfire. His story touched millions of lives. Globe show in Europe, Africa, he has now spoken in over 75 countries. Open book, he has written best-selling books like Life Without Limits. Trophy, he has built a successful company. Attitude is altitude, teaching people to overcome struggles. Sparkling heart, he is married, has 4 children, and lives a life of joy, impact, and purpose, all because he chose to smile. The power of a smile in adversity. Nick's story teaches us something profound. A smile is not just an expression, it is a choice. It is a statement to the word that says, heavy check mark, I will not let my circumstances define me. Heavy check mark, I may face challenges, but I refuse to give up. Heavy check mark, I choose joy over despair, hope over fear, and love over self-pity. Nick didn't grow arms or legs. He didn't get a miracle cure. But what he gained was far more powerful, the ability to find happiness despite life's hardships. And that is something we all can do. Your takeaway, choosing to smile in your own life. Nick's story may be extraordinary, but his lesson is universal. We all face challenges. Maybe you are struggling financially. Maybe you are heartbroken. Maybe you feel stuck in a job, a situation, or a life that doesn't inspire you. But remember this, you always have a choice. White heavy check mark, you can choose to complain, or you can choose to find solutions. White heavy check mark, you can choose to focus on what's missing, or you can choose to appreciate what you have. White heavy check mark, you can choose to stay in sadness, or you can choose to smile, because every challenge is temporary, but your strength is permanent. So, the next time life feels unfair, remember Nick's story. Smile, not because life is perfect, but because you are stronger than your struggles. Smiling face with smiling guys sparkles. The science of smiling, how it changes your reality. Have you ever noticed how a simple smile can instantly change the energy in a room? Imagine walking into a cafe where the barista greets you with a warm, genuine smile. Now, imagine the same scenario, but this time, they barely acknowledge you, looking tired and unbothered. Which experience would brighten your day? Smiling isn't just about expressing happiness. It's about creating happiness, both for yourself and those around you. Science proves that smiling can literally rewire your brain, changing your emotional state and even your reality. The science behind smiling, a brain hack for happiness. Smiling is often seen as a reaction to joy. But what if I told you that the act of smiling itself can create joy? Small blue diamond, the brain's chemical response. When you smile, even if you don't feel happy, your brain releases a cocktail of happiness hormones. Heavy check mark dopamine boosts pleasure and motivation. Heavy check mark serotonin reduces stress and anxiety. Heavy check mark endorphins act as natural painkillers. These chemicals instantly lift your mood, reduce stress, and even strengthen your immune system. Small blue diamond, the University of Kansas study. A groundbreaking study by the University of Kansas revealed that smiling, even when forced, can lower heart rate and reduce stress levels. Participants in the study were asked to perform stressful tasks, such as solving complex problems while holding chopsticks in their mouths to mimic a smile. The results? Those who smiled experienced lower anxiety and heart rates compared to those who didn't. Moral of the story? Even if you don't feel like smiling, doing it anyway can trick your brain into feeling better. It's like an instant mood reset button. The Dalai Lama, a smile that inspires the world. Few people embody the power of a smile better than the Dalai Lama. Born in 1935, Tenzin Gyatso became the spiritual leader of Tibet at the age of 15. But soon after, his homeland faced a devastating crisis. In 1959, China took control of Tibet, forcing the Dalai Lama and thousands of Tibetans to flee. He left behind his country, his people, and everything he knew. Yet, despite these immense hardships, Have you ever seen a picture of the Dalai Lama without a smile? Even after decades of exile, political struggles, and suffering, he continues to radiate peace and joy. Why? Because he understands a powerful truth. Why try pointing backhand index happiness is an internal state, not dependent on external circumstances. The Dalai Lama teaches that suffering is inevitable, but our reaction to suffering is a choice. Heavy check mark, he could have chosen bitterness. Heavy check mark, he could have lived in anger. Heavy check mark, he could have let sorrow define him. But instead, he chose to smile. His smile is not just an expression. It is a statement, a declaration that even in the face of pain, one can cultivate inner peace and joy. How smiling shifts your reality. 1. Smiling changes how others perceive you. Heavy check mark studies show that people who smile are seen as more attractive, trustworthy, and confident. Heavy check mark, a smiling face is naturally inviting, making others feel at ease around you. 2. Smiling strengthens relationships. Heavy check mark, a genuine smile creates positive social connections. Heavy check mark, when you smile at someone, it activates the reward centers in their brain, making them feel good too. Heavy check mark, this is why smiling is often called contagious. It spreads joy effortlessly. 3. Smiling reduces stress and improves health. Heavy check mark, when you smile, your brain reduces cortisol levels, the hormone responsible for stress. Heavy check mark, smiling also boosts your immune system, helping you fight illness. 4. Smiling helps you overcome challenges. Heavy check mark, life is full of difficulties, but when you face struggles with a smile, you reprogram your mind to look for solutions instead of dwelling on problems. Heavy check mark, smiling helps cultivate resilience, the ability to bounce back from adversity. Practical ways to use smiling as a daily superpower. White heavy check mark, smile first thing in the morning. When you wake up, start your day by smiling. Even if you don't feel like it, train your brain to associate waking up with joy. White heavy check mark, smile at strangers. Whether you are at a store, at work, or walking down the street, smile at people. You never know who needs that small moment of kindness. White heavy check mark, smile during stressful moments. Next time you are feeling overwhelmed, take a deep breath and smile. Watch how it shifts your mindset. White heavy check mark, smile while talking on the phone. Ever notice how customer service representatives are trained to smile while speaking? That's because it changes the tone of their voice, making them sound warmer and friendlier. Try it. White heavy check mark, practice the 10-second smile exercise. Spend 10 seconds looking in the mirror and smiling at yourself every day. It may feel strange at first, but over time, it builds self-confidence and inner happiness. Final thought, the Dalai Lama's lesson on true happiness. If the Dalai Lama, despite losing his country, facing exile, and experiencing immense loss, can still smile with peace and joy, then so can you. His wisdom teaches us that true happiness is not about what happens to us, but about how we choose to react. So, no matter what challenges come your way, smile. Not because life is perfect, not because problems don't exist, but because you know that a smile is your greatest weapon against negativity. The next time life tests you, remember, your smile is not just an expression, it's a superpower. Use it wisely. Smiling face with smiling guys sparkles. Smiling and relationships. The secret to influence and connection. Have you ever met someone whose smile instantly made you feel comfortable? Someone who, without saying a word, radiated warmth and kindness? That's the power of a smile in relationships. A smile is more than just an expression. It's a signal, an invitation for connection, and a bridge between hearts. It can dissolve anger, mend broken bonds, and create trust in an instant. But how exactly does a simple smile hold so much influence in human relationships? Let's explore the science of smiling, how it builds connection, Small blue diamond smiling releases social glue hormones. When you smile at someone, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that makes people feel safe and valued. Heavy check mark is the same hormone that mothers release when they bond with their babies. Heavy check mark, it fosters trust, love, and connection between people. Small blue diamond, the mirror effect. Smiles are contagious. Heavy check mark, when you smile at someone, their brain automatically mirrors your smile. Heavy check mark, this happens because of mirror neurons, which make people unconsciously reflect emotions they see in others. Heavy check mark, that's why a smile can instantly lighten the mood in any conversation. Smiling lowers defenses and reduces conflict. A smile acts as a peace offering. It tells the other person, I mean no harm. I am here with love and kindness. Even in difficult situations, smiling can soften tension and open the door to understanding. Spiritual wisdom, smiling as an act of love. Great spiritual leaders throughout history, Jesus Christ, Buddha, the Dalai Lama, and countless others, all emphasize kindness, compassion, and love. A smile is the simplest, yet most powerful way to express these values. 1. Jesus Christ. The power of love in a smile. Jesus Christ taught love and forgiveness, even in the face of hatred. His message was simple: treat others with kindness and compassion. Imagine Jesus smiling at the poor, the sick, the broken-hearted. His smile was an expression of unconditional love. His presence made people feel valued and accepted. He forgave even those who crucified him, proving that love always wins. 2. Buddha, the smile of inner peace. Buddha's teachings revolve around inner peace and compassion. Have you ever seen a statue of Buddha? The gentle smile on his face symbolized inner tranquility and wisdom. He taught that true joy comes from within, not from external possessions or circumstances. A smile, according to Buddhism, is a sign of being in harmony with oneself and the world. Example, Mother Teresa, a smile that healed hearts. No one embodied the power of a smile in relationships more than Mother Teresa. Born in 1910, she dedicated her life to serving the poor, sick, and abandoned in the streets of India. She faced unimaginable suffering every day, people dying in her arms, children starving, the elderly forgotten by their families. Yet, she always smiled. Her philosophy: we shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do. She understood that many people she cared for had never felt love before. A smile was her way of telling them, you are important, you are loved. Even in their last moments, the sick and dying felt dignity and warmth through her smile. Her smile was not just an expression, it was an act of love, a source of healing, and a gift of humanity. How smiling strengthens relationships. A smile can transform every kind of relationship. Romantic relationships. Couples who smile and laugh together have stronger emotional bonds. A smile during an argument can calm tensions and remind both partners of their love. Friendships. Smiling makes you more approachable and helps friendships grow. A simple smile can turn a stranger into a lifelong friend. Family bonds. Even in tough times, smiling reminds your family that love is stronger than any problem. Parents who smile often create a happier and healthier home environment. Workplace and leadership. Studies show that leaders who smile are more respected and trusted by their teams. A smile makes you appear more confident and approachable, increasing your influence. How to use the power of smiling every day. Smile as a habit. Practice smiling every morning in the mirror. Even if you don't feel like it, it sets a positive tone for the day. Smile even in difficult situations. Facing an argument, smile softly. It can shift the energy of the conversation. Feeling stressed? Take a deep breath and smile. It will help your brain relax. Use smiling as a love language. When words fail, Let your smile communicate kindness. Make eye contact and smile at those who seem sad or lost. It may be the only light in their day. Final thought. A smile is a gift that costs nothing. If Mother Teresa could smile while comforting the dying, if Jesus Christ could smile while preaching love to his enemies, if Buddha could smile with deep peace in his heart, then we too can choose to smile, love, and connect every single day. Your smile is a superpower. Use it to heal, inspire, and influence the world around you. Smiling through success, staying humble and grounded. Success is a beautiful journey. It brings achievement, recognition, and influence. But along with it comes a hidden challenge, ego. Many people, after reaching the top, forget where they came from. They become arrogant, distant, or overly proud. But the truly great leaders and achievers, they stay humble, and their smile reflects their gratitude for life's journey. A genuine smile in success is not just an expression, it's a sign of heavy check mark humility, heavy check mark gratitude, heavy check mark groundedness, heavy check mark respect for others. One of the best examples of this, Ratan Tata, a billionaire known not just for his success, but for his kindness, simplicity, and ever-present smile. The hidden test of success, ego versus humility. Small blue demon success can lead to arrogance. When people achieve success, they may start believing they are superior to others. They may look down upon those who are still struggling. Small blue diamond, a smile as a sign of humility. But true leaders never let success get to their heads. Their smile remains as warm and genuine as it was before they became successful. Heavy check mark, it shows they remember their roots. Heavy check mark, it reminds them that success is a journey, not a destination. Heavy check mark, it proves they value people over power. Example, Ratan Tata, a billionaire with a humble smile. Ratan Tata is one of the most respected businessmen in the world. Despite his immense success, he remains humble, kind, and approachable. One, he never flaunts his wealth. Unlike many billionaires who show off their luxury, Ratan Tata lives a simple life. Heavy check mark, he doesn't own private jets. Heavy check mark, he doesn't surround himself with extravagant luxuries. Heavy check mark, he believes in giving back to society rather than indulging in personal extravagance. And yet, whenever you see him in interviews or public appearances, he is always smiling with warmth and humility. 2. His smile reflects his values. Heavy check mark, he smiles not out of pride, but out of gratitude. Heavy check mark, he understands that success is not just about money, but about impact and kindness. Heavy check mark, even after building an empire, he remains approachable and respectful to everyone. 3. A powerful incident. When Ratan Tata won hearts with his smile. Once, Ratan Tata visited a small tea stall in India. Instead of acting like a billionaire and demanding special treatment, he, heavy check mark, sat with the local people. Heavy check mark ordered tea just like everyone else. Heavy check mark smiled and talked to them with warmth and respect. For the people at the stall, this was a life-changing moment. A billionaire sitting among them without ego, without arrogance, just with a smile. His actions sent a powerful message. Success doesn't make you superior. Humility and kindness define true greatness. Why a smile in success is important. Why heavy check mark? It keeps you grounded. Heavy check mark, a smile reminds you to stay grateful for every step of your journey. Heavy check mark, it helps you stay connected to your values. White heavy check mark, it inspires others. Heavy check mark, people admire those who achieve great things without losing their humility. Heavy check mark, a smile makes you more approachable and relatable, even at the top. White heavy check mark, it attracts more success. Heavy check mark, humble leaders create stronger, more loyal teams. Heavy check mark, employees, colleagues, and partners trust and respect those who remain kind despite their power. Final thought, let success make you shine, not overpower others. Glowing star if a billionaire like Ratan Tata can remain humble and smile. Glowing star if true leaders never let ego overshadow their kindness. Glowing star, then you can choose to smile through success, staying humble and grateful. A smile is not just a reaction to happiness. It's a reminder that success should always be accompanied by humility and grace. Smiling face with smiling guys sparkles. Thich Nhat Hanh, the Zen master of peace and smiling. Thich Nhat Hanh, 1926 to 2022, was a Vietnamese Buddhist monk, spiritual leader, poet, peace activist, and one of the most influential mindfulness teachers in the world. He was known for his gentle smile, compassionate heart, and deep wisdom, inspiring millions to live with peace, presence, and love. His life and teachings revolved around mindfulness, peace, and the power of a smile as a spiritual practice. The life of Thich Nhat Hanh, a journey of peace and mindfulness. Early life and spiritual awakening. Small blue diamond born in Vietnam in 1926. Thich Nhat Hanh became a monk at the age of 16. Small blue diamond, he was drawn to Buddhism because of his deep focus on compassion, mindfulness, and inner peace. Small blue diamond, even as a young monk, he believed that Buddhist teaching should not only be about meditation but also about actively helping people in suffering. Becoming a peace activist during the Vietnam War. Small blue diamond, during the Vietnam War, he saw the immense suffering of his people. Instead of choosing sides, he promoted peace and reconciliation. Small blue diamond, he founded the School of Youth for Social Services, SYSs, a group of monks and nuns who help rebuild villages and care for war victims. Small blue diamond, he also coined the term engaged Buddhism, meaning that spirituality should not be separate from the world, it should help heal society, exile and spreading mindfulness to the world. Small blue diamond, because of his peace efforts, both the North and South Vietnamese governments saw him as a threat. He was exiled from Vietnam in 1966 and was unable to return for 39 years. Small blue diamond, during his exile, he traveled to France, the United States, and other countries, spreading the message of mindfulness, compassion, and peace. Small blue diamond, he founded Plum Village, a mindfulness retreat center in France, where thousands of people came to learn about meditation, breathing, and the art of living in the present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh and the power of a smile. Thich Nhat Hanh deeply believed that a smile is a spiritual practice. He often told his students, "Electric light bulb, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy." This means that even when you don't feel happy, smiling can shift your energy, uplift your spirit, and bring a sense of peace. 1. Smiling as a mindfulness practice. He encouraged people to smile while breathing, using a simple but powerful technique. Black Rye Tarot, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. This practice helps people relax, stay present, and feel gratitude for life. 2. Smiling as a symbol of inner peace. Thich Nhat Hanh often spoke about the Buddha's smile, saying, Black Rye Tarot, the Buddha's smile is the embodiment of enlightenment, a sign that he has understood the nature of life. He taught that when we smile, we show that we are at peace with the present moment. Even in difficult times, a smile can help us accept life's challenges with grace and calmness. 3. Smiling to spread love and compassion. For Thich Nhat Hanh, a smile is a gift. It is an act of love, kindness, and healing. He said, Black Rye Tarot, your smile can bring happiness to someone even if they don't know you. Just as a flower naturally offers its fragrance, a genuine smile can uplift and comfort others without words. Lessons from Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings on smiling. White heavy checkmark smile to stay present. A simple smile helps you return to the present moment and appreciate life as it is. White heavy checkmark smile to cultivate inner peace. A soft smile during meditation creates a sense of harmony and relaxation. White heavy checkmark, smile even during challenges. A smile doesn't mean you ignore pain. It means you face it with courage and faith. White heavy checkmark, smile as an act of kindness. Smiling at others spreads positive energy and builds connection. White heavy checkmark, smile as a reminder of gratitude. When you smile, you acknowledge the beauty of life, no matter how small. Final thought. The legacy of Thich Nhat Hanh's smile. Thich Nhat Hanh passed away in 2020 to the age of 95, but his teachings live on in the hearts of millions. His message was simple yet profound. Breathe deeply. Smiling face with smiling guys, smile gently. Yellow heart, live with kindness. Person with folded hands, find peace in the present moment. By embracing the power of a smile, we can transform ourselves and bring more peace to the world. So right now, take a deep breath and let a gentle smile bloom on your face.